Howdy ho, people. How you doing? Well, guess what? We're diving on Henry's boat, the Atlantic Express. We're doing a little Calcutta CBST, Carolina Beach Spearfishing Tournament. Me and my buddies doing a lot of mud diving this week. Trying to get some flounder. It's flounder season, that's why we're doing it, right? It's not been a great season thus far because the vids have been pretty bad wherever we've went, and the fish are not as good as they were last year. But we're still having a good time. And I gotta give a shout out to my boys at Neptonics for keeping me in spear shafts, because if you watch any of my recent videos, you've seen that I'm doing my best to make sure that their kids are going to college. I went through like 5 shafts already this year. Anyway, Henry and Brant are down, and me and Beth are going to go down in a few minutes. So hopefully we'll get some big flounder for you, maybe some sheep's head and some tautog, because everybody loves tautog tacos. That's right. Talk to you later. Bye. Okay, and don't forget, we got
Lake Atlantic.
That's right, Lake Atlantic. Isn't that right, Beth?
Yes.
It is nice.
Got the whole ocean to ourselves.
You got the what?
Got the whole ocean to ourselves.
Yeah, that's right. It's Lake Atlantic today, people. And I think there's a cobia swimming around, so maybe we'll be lucky and get one. So I left this piece of footage in here so you could see how pretty it was on the surface. And you can see the water's pretty nice and blue for 10 miles, not too bad. And then you get to quickly see how quickly it goes to, well, muck. I mean, look, it's already starting to turn green. I'm probably not but 10 feet down. The color changed, and then it just gets worse and worse as we get to the bottom. The surge was really bad. It's hard to see it in the video, but it was really bad. So like I said before, we're doing a little Calcutta tournament for flounder, sheep's head, and tautog. And this is the 3rd day of diving. And the 3rd day, you can see how bad the viz is, and the surge was pretty bad. There was actually a hurricane going by, and it produced a lot of groundswell. So that groundswell was just really kicking up the bottom and making the surge pretty bad. So, and of course affected the visibility and just made it really hard to hunt. The viz didn't look that bad in the video, but trust me, it's worse than it looks. And the problem is diving 10-mile boxcars. You need to be able to see from pipe to pipe, and you really couldn't do that, so you didn't know which way to really go when you got to the bottom. We did see a cool guitar fish though. Those, you don't see those a whole lot, but for some reason I see more around 10-mile boxcars than anywhere else. Okay.
How's the viz?
Oh, it's horrible. Yep.
Beautiful here on the surface.
I know, the surge is like brutal on the bottom.
When I was there, when we were there at Dallas.
Yeah.
A lot. I got them all.
Yeah, the surge. Yeah. Yep. That's what it was. Pull forward. Forward. Okay, whoa, right there. All right. Neutral, go.
Should I go?
Go.
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 Have fun. Taking the gun and a spear?
Yeah. So last year we did really good at 5-mile barges, mostly on the pipes and the barge itself, or barges. So I've noticed that the culverts like these just don't collect as many flounder as the pipes do. The habitat just isn't quite as good. They just don't like it. So we only spend a few minutes here, and then I pick up and move over to the pipes. Rob and his dive team that he dove with on his dive, right before we dove this, had done the barges, and he actually dove all 3 barges, and they didn't do really that good on flounder. Oh, you just saw a little flounder go by there, I believe. They're all small over here, so we only stay here for a few minutes, and we pick up when we go over to the pipes. People ask me all the time why I send my fish up. Of course, if you've been watching my videos, usually I just do that to get the fish up and away from me so that I don't have to worry about sharks, because I've fought enough sharks off in my life. I don't need to do that. I don't need that kind of excitement in my life. So I usually send them up to get them just out of the water and away from me. But you don't have to really worry about sharks here. A lot of times, like right here, I just send it up so it gives the people on the boat something to do, because it's pretty boring sitting on the boat for 40 minutes waiting for somebody to come up. But when you see fish popping up all the time, that's fun.
Hey, so that's not what I wanted to dive on. I want to go to the pipes. That's not what I wanted to dive on. We'll go somewhere else. What?
Yeah, whatever.
No, I want to go to the ones further out. We're going to go right back down. We're just going to go up and back over. Yeah.
So there were a few more flounder over on the pipes, and a few with decent size, so we shot a few. But the towel tog I saw, man, this thing was huge. Might not look like it, but that's a big towel tog. And it's definitely a tournament winner.
You gotta pull it up and let it go. Listen, pull it up and let it go. Let it go. No, let it up and let it go.
So I'm trying to break Beth of a bad habit. She likes to just stab the flounder, right, by just stabbing it. Trying to get her to use the band on the pole spear, because the stabbing the little ones is okay, but the big ones, if you don't, get a lot of force behind it and get that paralyzer down on the ground, you're going to lose the fish. But I was wholly unsuccessful because, well, Beth's going to do what Beth's going to do. You know what I'm saying? So we moved over to the old Dredge wreck, just trying to find fish somewhere, man. And there's flounder around on the Dredge wreck. None that are just huge. Decent sized ones, a few. But right here, there's a sheep's head in there, and it looks really big when I first see it. Just look how big he looks. Ends up not being as big as I thought it was, but I was trying to figure out how to shoot this thing. And I do. But trying to get him out of that hole was like trying to play that board game called Doctor. Every time I pulled it out, it was like, nah. So, it took me a little while, so we'll skip that part. You can see there's a nice gag in there. There's almost always one nice gag underneath the machinery there, but it's almost impossible to get to him. So, and we didn't, of course. So what we have here is a failure to communicate. So Beth finds a really nice flounder, but it's kind of down deep in the wreck. And she comes over to me, and I think she's asking me, like, how should I get that fish? I understood that as, I can't get that fish, you go get that fish. So she was none too happy, I think, that I actually shot this flounder after I shot it. But if you show me a fish and you kind of look at me, I'm assuming you mean for me to shoot it.
Are you gonna punch out on that?
So when I send these fish up, you can see me look up and kind of my attention is drawn to those amberjack, because when the amberjack are schooling like that over the dredge wreck, a lot of times there'll be cobia swimming with them. So I was kind of checking out just to see if I saw any cobia up there swimming around, to maybe try to get a cobia, but I never did see any. So the dredge wreck is a great place for flounder, but I cannot tell you how many times I have been on this wreck and seen people swim over flounder on top of the brick pile. So they think all the flounder are going to be sitting down in the sand, and that's not always the case. They like to be camouflaged up here just as much, because there's fish swimming around up here too. They're ambush predators, but you can see how well they blend in. I mean, would you be able to see that fish if my light wasn't on it?
Do I now?
Huh?
What?
I said, is that my fish now since you got a sheep's head?
No, you have to shoot the fish to weigh it.
I pointed it out and I strung it.
No, you did not shoot.
That's my fish.
Not your fish.
My fish.
Tournaments don't work that way, dear. That's why I asked you if you want to shoot it.
It's my fish.
So I had some camera problems at the beginning of this dive, so we're probably about halfway through this dive. I'm at the end of the boiler on the Stone Brothers tug right here. So it's kind of dark because it's late in the afternoon, right before sunset, and it's overcast. We went like the second day flounder was open. But the visit isn't bad, and man, I tell you what, I love this wreck. I love this wreck. It's a great found flounder habitat. And you can see that's Beth stringer, so she has already been putting a hurting down on the flounder herself. I was being a little bit more selective at the beginning, until about right now, and then I just go crazy. I just started having all kinds of fun shooting flounder. But she actually did really good on this dive. I think her big flounder came off this dive, if I'm not mistaken. So what I'm doing here is I'm actually sitting back and kind of planning how I want to go about shooting these fish, because when you shoot fish in this area, you can stir it up very, very quickly. So you don't want to shoot a small flounder to stir up a big one. So I'm kind of looking around and checking out the area and looking to see where all the flounder are laying and choosing the biggest one first, because I may not get another opportunity on any others if I stir it up too bad. So I always do that when you're diving on that kind of area, that kind of bottom. Choose wisely. What Beth is trying to tell me there is stop shooting fish, Woodby. We got our limit. Sorry, man. I love shooting flounder. I'd rather go shoot flounder than go offshore and shoot grouper any day. That's just how I'm wired, man. Love it. Love it.
There's another nice one there. She's like, stop shooting fish! Stop shooting fish! I'm like, Hey, on the other end, dude, there's like 5 or 6 just as big as the biggest one I shot.